Hey, this is Chantal Girardi from Online Business Marketing. And firstly, let me just apologize for my rather raspy voice. Just come back from presenting at a conference, 4-day conference where I presented 5 times. Had an absolutely amazing time, but have picked up a little bit of a cold. And what I'd like to say, a ex-phone operator's voice. But I didn't want to leave you today because today's topic is hot off the trot, and it is how to develop a successful online course that sells. And I'm going to share with you everything, like the whole end-to-end strategy of why you need it, how you can use it, all the tech that's involved, and the way that you can go about developing it as well. This is exactly what I would be teaching one-on-one with my clients when I work with them, and obviously hand-holding them through the process of setting this all up, or my team setting it up for them with our software. So firstly, who is this for, and how can you use online courses in your business? And so firstly, I just want to say that this is for purpose-led business owners, entrepreneurs, innovators, team leaders, and managers who are looking to leverage their expertise and expand their reach through online education. And that can be in a form of a lead magnet. When I was doing this, putting this together, I was like, don't forget online courses, little mini courses, absolutely fabulous for to be used as lead magnets as well, free lead magnets or as pay low subscription offers. So there's so many different ways or things that you can use it. Not to forget that for businesses that aren't education type businesses, so for example, let's talk about a pest control company. How could they use it? Or a cleaning company, how would they use an online course platform? Simply, they could basically put together all their team training and put on all their onboarding for their staff so that when a new member comes on team, they can run them through that online course, take them through quizzes, test them, test their knowledge, make them redo it if they don't do well. And basically, they wouldn't have to continue to onboard new team members the whole time. They could use that. So that is, using an online course, not for selling, not for lead magnet, not to generate income or leads, but more so that you can actually use it to as a time-saving technique to be able to onboard staff as well. So absolutely invaluable way to use it. So I'm sure there is a way that every business could use this in some way, use these strategies. Cool. So how do you make money from an online course? Well, in order to make money from anything, it's got to be meaningful. It's got to be meaningful for you. It's got to be meaningful for the people who are purchasing it for you as well. And that means you need to firstly identify your profitable niche. Now, profitable niche means that you have something that someone is willing to pay for. So expertise, a problem that you solve that someone else is willing to pay for. And there needs to be a match with that. So when we talk about profitable niche, that basically is how that works. So you need to identify your target audience, what their pain points are, and then what the gaps in the market are. And as I always say, you have to look at your point of difference, because I'm sure there's 1,000 of you out in the world, more than 1,000, probably 1 billion of you in the world. And then there's probably 1 billion promising exactly the same thing. So you've got to look for a gap in the market and go, what is your glitter? What is your juice? What are your expertise in? And how can you communicate that point of difference and package it together as a desirable offer so that it meets the demand of a certain target market, a certain demographic, so that you can market to them. So in order to do that, once you've done that sort of customer survey online, you can go to answerthepublic.com and you can discover what your audience is searching for online. So answerthepublic.com, if you put in specific words, it will show you what your ideal audience are the words they're actually using and searching for help in Bing, in Google. So once you use those same words, it's going to give you subject titles for you to be able to use in order to be attract and capture the right audience. So number 2 is looking at pricing. And as I said, you could use this as a free lead magnet. You could use this as a hook to go out and wave your little fishing rod out there and hook the right people in, and then obviously take them through a nurture sequence or a journey to build know, like, and trust in order to be able to sell to them later on. Now, and this is just my method, I feel that if you are a stranger and people have never been touched by you before in any way, so they are cold audience, I believe that free is often the best way, because I mean, many times people aren't going to pay something to someone if they don't know who they are, if that person doesn't have credibility or is a stranger to them, then may not pay. Maybe for a low price offer, but generally not for high price offer if you're a stranger. So it's important to understand that when you are doing your pricing, that it is an amount that your ideal client will actually pay for what it is that you're going to deliver. All right, so let's talk about pricing strategies. So firstly, you can do tiered pricing. So you can offer different packages, giving you different levels of access. So for example, the one might just be a free download. The next one could be a free download and maybe like a weekly masterclass in a group. And maybe the third one would be a free download, a weekly masterclass, and maybe a one-on-one. I do also just want to remind you of middle offer syndrome. So usually when you price your offers and you've got 1, 2, 3, you want to make the middle one more desirable because there's this thing called middle offer syndrome, and people generally will always play it safe and go for the middle. Most people will when they're given an option. You don't need to do tiered pricing. You could just go in with one offer. That is obviously up to you. Now, the second one to look at is a subscription model. Now, a subscription model means that there's a reoccurring continuous fee to belong to something. The thing is then that you've got to then deliver on whatever it is that you promise. So say, for example, if they sign up to be as part of your membership or your online course, they get your online course material, and perhaps then they get your weekly meditation class that you do, which is live, and they get access to that. And then they could either pay like a one-time fee and then go into like a subscription. But again, you've just got to remember that you've got to deliver on whatever it is that you are promising. Another way to do that is that for the time that they continue to subscribe, they have continuous access to the content and the updates or any new content or resources or live trainings that you do. So number 3 is a one-time payment. And as I said, you could just have a fixed price that people pay for. And depending on what that price is, you may wish to look at a payment plan, or perhaps you'd like to look at something like a payment plan or or obviously it's got to be a price that people can afford and be happy to pay as a once-off. Lastly, you're looking at early bird discounts, and early bird discounts are a really good ones. So, using a countdown timer, and then encouraging early signups by offering limited time discounts. You could also, rather than having a limited time, you could have a limited amount. So you could just say, we're only offering one of these a week, so first and best dressed, just to have a level of FOMO in them. So that's pricing. So how else do you make money from online courses? Well, firstly, you can do this. Thirdly, you can do this through upselling and cross-selling. So you could offer additional resources, personalized coaching, or related courses as upsells or cross-sells to increase revenue. So, for example, somebody could come into your program. Maybe they have taken the group program where they're in a group model, and you could send them nurture sequences to upsell them into hey, how are you doing? Are you struggling on this on your own? You could always upgrade and get a upgrade and get like a personalized coaching session or an audit or something as part of that. So number 4 is affiliate marketing, and that means creating an affiliate program which you therefore encourage others to promote your course in exchange for commission of sales. So when you're looking at partners who've got the same audience as you, you can give them this course to sell through their emails or their socials. They could use a special coupon code and therefore earn commissions off selling your course. You could also just do that through a joint asset swap or partnership. So no money exchange, but it's just, I'll do that for you if you do that for me. So number 5 is bundling. Package your course with other products or services you offer to provide greater value and attract more buyers. So for example, this is something that I do. So if anybody buys one-on-one programs with me, they get lifetime access to all my online courses. So whenever I do a new online course, they get access to that. And of course, they can then use that as refresher training for themselves once their program's done, or alternatively, they can give that to their virtual assistants to use as part of their onboarding and training. All right, so what is the process of actually creating an online course? I know for creative people, our brains are like, we've got like 1,000 ideas coming all the time. And when that happens, I absolutely love Trello, because Trello is a great platform where you can literally just dump things onto boards. And what I love about it is that it's on your phone as well. So when you've got the app on your phone and you're sitting on a train, or for example, when I'm traveling, I can just go onto my phone, go to my Trello board and dump an amazing idea on there. And then later on, I can pull and drag and just move them across from module to module as it makes sense. So I love the accessibility of Trello, and it is free, but there are many other platforms that offer similar things, and you may already be using them in your business, platforms like Asana. So, so if we use Trello as an example as a board, well, firstly, you would create your overall board. So it would be like, right, this is where I'm brain dumping my, or this is where I'm course planning, or I call it brain dumping, but this is where I'm course planning and I'm brain dumping into it. And then I would start a Trello board specifically with that for that dedicated course. So that board's only for that. And then in there, I would use the lists, each list to represent a model. So for example, you would start with like a welcome, then you'd have module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4, and then maybe you'd have like a closing one or a summary one, perhaps a quiz, or even just a how can we connect further. These are additional ones that you would then have. So you'd set up these lists, and then you would start to use the cards to break up those individual lessons as you start to compile them and put them in a logical order for your clients. Because many people go, I don't know what should come first. Should this come first or that come first? And I'm like, just put it down in what you think it is and just dump into it. And as you do it, you'll go, you know what, they really need to learn that before they learn that. And that way you can just click and carry and move them across. And that's why I love Trello, because it's so easy to do that. What I also love is that you've got checklists for the content as well. So for example, if you go, because you want to keep your course consistent when you actually develop it, you want to make sure that, say you're going to have one video for each, one checklist for each, one template for each, one quiz for each. You want to create the checklist on each of those cards. And that way you can then go tick, tick, tick. As you add them, you know what you still need to add to it, and what you still need to create for it. So adding those little checklists and key points for each lesson makes it certainly helpful. And then the last one is you can attach all the resources. So as you start to attach those resources, you start to put them all in and go, right, there's my YouTube video link for that one. There's my template for that one. There's my quiz for that one. So that now you're checking that everything is added to each of those cards or boards, so that when the Trello board and you are happy with it, you can now simply go to your learning management system, and you can simply put it into your learning management system or give it to a VA. And when you give it to them like that, it costs it's very affordable. Like, it's like we could get our team to do it, and it would be so affordable if you put it in that format, because you've done all the work for us. We could just go and make it pretty and put it in the system for you. Cool. So content creation. Choosing the right title is absolutely imperative. It's the same as everything. It's the same as your sales programs. It's the same as your offers. It's the same as the subject lines. It's the same as the headline in your content. It's the same as your webinar title. It is the thing that's going to stop the right person from scrolling. So it has to be descriptive. It's got to be intriguing. It has to convey value, and what the outcome is. It has to identify the person's pain, or it has to offer a solution to the problem. And when somebody looks at it, it can't look that it would apply to a mortgage broker, or it could apply to a Bitcoin person, or it could apply to a cleaning company, or it could apply to someone else. So when people, for example, they'll go, do you want to create a freedom lifestyle? That could apply to any industry: financial, health and wellness, business. So you've got to make sure that your title 100% captures your niche market and the problem that you're solving. Super important. So now when you're designing the content, here's some guidelines. Well, firstly, make sure that that your content does actually deliver on the promise. So whatever you promise them, make sure that you deliver on it. There's, depending on the price point of what they pay, if it's a low price point and you're using it as a lead magnet to upsell them into something else, it is recommended that you it's recommended that you do not overwhelm them, that you only give them one problem to solve to show them that whatever you do does work. And then they will have the confidence in upselling. But if you give them too many things and they don't complete anything, they actually won't upsell into anything. However, if it's a big course and it's a lot of money, then obviously you're going to be promising a lot more stuff. And because they've invested a lot more money, they're more likely to complete more things. So make sure that you deliver on your niche area rather than covering too broad a topic. So whatever the problem is, make sure you solve it, and that you give them the tips to be able to do that. So engagement's really important when it comes to consideration in your content designing, because at the end of the day, people now are just overwhelmed with online content. And unless they have engaging parts within the content that you're providing, they're less likely to complete it. They're less likely to get results. And if that's the case, they're never going to spend more money with you, because the last one they didn't work. And it didn't work not because you didn't work, it's because they never finished it. So we've got to keep them engaged. So you can include various types of content, like quizzes, so little quizzes or checklists or things that they've got to tick off, or even giving them certificates in order to make them maintain interest throughout the course. Clarity and structure. You want to present it in a logical, easy to follow structure. And if you followed my guidelines beforehand about going to Trello first, that would be really helpful. And then the last one is branding. And you just want to make sure that your branding is consistent in the delivery of the content. I did this one once where I put together a course, and at the beginning of the course I had long hair, and then I'd cut my hair really short towards the end, and I had people contacting me going, have you just jammed like 2 pieces of content together? And I was like, I actually didn't, I just had a haircut. So it was kind of weird, but that felt in not alignment for them. So it's quite important that when you do put things together, that it is congruent and it does flow. So when you're selecting your resources, you want to make sure that there's high quality resources such as videos and tools that complement the course material. Don't overthink it. All my courses are done through Zoom like this. Zoom like this with the with auto transcription. Plus on top of it, I've got the notes for it. The notes get uploaded as the resource. The video gets uploaded as the training. And then I put the other practical steps that they've now got to do afterwards, and then additional resources. And generally that is my flow. So it's a video, it's the written content, some sort of engagement thing, like your next steps, and then additional resources in there. I'll just keep that same consistency, same branding across it. I just keep it really simple, or else you won't do it. So how do you determine the length of the course? At the end of the day, there has to be a balance between comprehensive coverage and concise delivery. So you've got to consider the pace of your target audience, and you've got to aim for a manageable length. So often I get people coming to me and going, oh, Chantal, you've got your 8-week program, like one-on-one program, and that is like, you don't do anything smaller than that. And I'm like, I can't do anything smaller than that, because there's no way that you can learn everything that I've learned in 10 years in online marketing that you can learn in 8 weeks in lead generation. And I'm sure you wanted to work on your website and in your Google and in your emails and your social media. And there's no way that you have the capacity to learn everything in that amount of time and retain it without getting overwhelmed, and you're still running a business. So I know that logically 8 weeks is what it is. And so it's very, very important that you understand that. I'll give you another example from my previous business, my health, wellness, and fitness business. A lot of the gyms on the Gold Coast were doing 12-week programs. Now, that was working well for the younger demographic, but for my demographic, who had kids and were older, the thing about that is that they would never, ever want to be eating healthy during the school holidays, and they found it difficult to get to the gym when their kids weren't at school. So what that meant is when we ran 8-week challenges and we ran them in the school terms, it made it easy for people to, oh, my kids are at school now, I can do that. I can focus on that. And we did run those programs online as well. So it must go with the pace of your target audience and be a manageable length. We don't want to overwhelm them. So sometimes giving them everything's not good. It would be better to give them something else. and do another follow-on program from that, and rather get them there step by step. I'm going to add this in here as well, which isn't in my notes but came to mind. You can also put it that unless they finish one module, they can't go to the next. Now, I personally found this frustrating as F when I did somebody else's course, because I wanted to jump ahead and see the next course. However, I changed my mind when I started to see that some people in my community were doing that. And when I looked at the type of person that they were, well, actually, I didn't have to look because they contacted me. They contacted me and said, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed. I've just looked at module 3. It says I've got to do this, but I have no idea what that is. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm not going to do anything. And I said, well, where are you? And they went, well, I'm in module 1. And I went, well, by the time you've done module 1 and you've done module 2, module 3 is going to make sense. And that's when I realized that actually sometimes turning off the modules and not allowing people to move on is actually good for them, because they will not get overwhelmed and they'll stay on track and they'll actually absorb everything. So delivery and engagement. So you want to firstly look at accountability measures. And nowadays, a lot of people won't buy an online course unless there are some sort of touch points. So there's some sort of accountability that you have for them. So you could use automated emails, auto emails for reminders and encouragement, and you can progress their tracking. So when you read the reports or whatever, you can automate those emails and say, congratulations, you finished module 1, well done. In module 2, you'll find this. Just keep them tracking along. The other way to do that is through community groups, and I've done that through Facebook groups. So having like a dedicated group, adding them into there, and then allowing them the opportunity to ask questions or engage or share their experiences in that group. Some people have also used messenger chats or WhatsApp for that. But again, that just means you've got to manage it and you've got to manage people's comments. And the last one is checking in with regular live sessions. So either they can be live sessions, they could be recorded sessions, but sort of more stuff to kind of keep them tracking along to make sure that they actually are staying motivated and accountable and are showing up for their course. All right, so let's talk about marketing your course. Well, firstly, in social media, you could do a pre-launch buzz. So you want to tease the course on social channels with sneak peeks, testimonials, and countdowns. Now, a lot of people say to me, oh my gosh, my course is not ready. So when it's ready, I'll start marketing it. And I'm like, as you're creating it, you start drip feeding content and you start marketing it and you start building that audience, or you'll have no one to launch to. Number 2 is cross promotion. So again, collaborating with influencers or referral partners in your niche so that you can reach a wider audience. And then also creating engaging content. So using videos, infographics, and stories to highlight the course benefits and features. So as I said, from the time you start creating your course, start drip feeding that course out and get people excited about it so you can launch to them. You could even build we did this for a client recently. We did a let me know, let me know when the course is finished. So when they were marketing, they were capturing people's email addresses, so therefore they could then launch to them. And I think they had 70 people. So when they actually had the course ready, they already had 70 people on the email list that they could actually email to. So sorry about this cold, nothing I can do. Okay, email marketing. So firstly, you want to segment your list. So you're more likely to get results from a segmented list. So looking at your emails and your contacts and then sending out emails based on their interests or behavior. So say, for example, you've just created a women's program and you've got an email list of men and women. You possibly want to segment that list into men and women and only send it out to the women. Or alternatively, if it's not segmented, send it out and say, this is for women only. Maybe you want to send it to your mom, your daughter, a sister, a friend, or someone you know who may benefit. So make sure that the language you use is relevant. Then you want to look with emails. You want to look at nurture sequences. So send a series of emails that are going to educate, build trust, and guide the students towards enrolling or following through with their courses. And you want to continually share testimonials and case studies. So share stories from past students to build credibility and inspire confidence. Now, some of you are going, well, what if this is my first course, so I've got no testimonials or whatever. Something that I've done before that has worked really well is give away your course to a select relevant audience in exchange for their testimonial. So you give it away to them, but the deal is they'll get it for free, but they've got to give you a testimonial for it. Now, do not get your wrong audience to review it for you, because you want them to review it and give you feedback on that as well, because you want to see if it works or doesn't work. So getting the wrong person to review it will be detrimental to you as well. Something else that I did something else that you can do as well is that if you are a business and you've got testimonials from other things you've done. So for example, I might not have for my online course, but I've gotten results working one-on-one. You could use your quotation marks and go in and you could reference them as well. All right, so let's talk about software and tools and course delivery. So when it comes to content creation tools, you're looking at things like Canva for your graphics and for editing, even video editing as well, or for adding logos. You're looking at Zoom for your video and audio. And then you're looking at things like YouTube or Vimeo for storage of your videos. Otter AI is something else that you can use for transcription of your videos if you don't pre-write yours. So I pre-write everything and then I talk it, but I also have auto transcribing and giving me the takeaways, but I also have the entire thing ready to go as well. And then a learning management system. So you have to have a way in order to deliver this course. Now, I have done this before purely through email. So I haven't added this to my notes, but lucky for those of you watching it online, you can just through email. Somebody buys the course and you just send them a weekly email with a video, with notes, with their resources. You can do it that way. You can just do it with Facebook groups. Create a Facebook group. As soon as they sign up, they go into the Facebook group and you drop the content into the Facebook group each week and you nurture them inside the Facebook group. Those are two ways that I've done it without a learning management system. However, a learning management system gives you that nice professional course and allows you the opportunity to be able to sell things for free. So when you have a learning management platform, there's different ones like Thinkific, Teachable, Kajabi. However, we recommend OBMHub because they host and deliver your course. Now, when choosing these platforms, you have to look at how much it costs in order to have that platform. Platforms like Kajabi are about $500 per month, which means that's a lot of money for you to be storing and giving away. And some of them take a percentage of your course sales as well. So when you choose a platform like OBMHub, you're already paying for it because it's one fee for everything that you get, but it also has the learning management system. It's also got the email marketing system. It's also got everything else in there, and it integrates as well, because that's the other thing you've got to look at. So for example, I had a WordPress website. So then I had to get LearnDash attached to that, which I had to pay for. So another thing to pay for. And I had to make sure that those two things integrated. Then I had to integrate it with Zapier to my email marketing platform. Now with OBMHub, everything is in one. It's all in one. All right, so payment processing. You've obviously got to be able to take payments online and very easily. So you can consider using things like PayPal or Stripe for secure payment processing. When we talk about, let's just have a look, email marketing, you want to choose an email marketing platform that obviously integrates with the platform that you have, because if they don't integrate, then you're going to have to be manually onboarding them, which is something to consider. And then on top of it, you've got to be able to send newsletters out along with your nurture sequence. So you just want to make sure that those platforms can talk to each other. And then social media scheduling. So when you have social media scheduling, you want to look at going out and now promoting your online course and making sure that that you're generating leads and inquiries from your right audience to be able to sell them into that platform. Platform like OBMHub allows you the opportunity to schedule things into your platforms through the platform, as well as Google My Business at no additional cost, which is absolutely amazing. All right, so the last thing, OBMHub. So I just want to talk to you about how that looks for OBMHub, because that's obviously the platform we use. So there's a four-step process on how you would do it. And when we say goodbye to those who are watching the recording, I'm actually going to take the live audience behind the scene, and I'm actually going to take them into OBMHub and show them how it works behind the scene. So firstly, you want to go to the online course builder and you want to set up your course. So if you've got everything from Trello, you just move it across. It looks all pretty. That's great. It has payment integration. So you can put PayPal or Stripe there, which automatically integrates. It will then actually deliver the course to the person. So it'll give them a membership login. So people can log into the membership. They can view the videos, view the course. You can issue them certificates, and you can read the reports of who's actually doing what. It then also has the email marketing and automation. So you can email market to generate new clients from your email list, but you can also set up automated emails to send out to those doing the course for accountability. And the last one is social media management. So it's about being able to go into OBMHub and then schedule using the online scheduler. You can actually schedule your social media so that you don't have to spend every single day 1,000 hours online. So it's all talks to each other already. It's already all inbuilt and works well together, and it's one price, which is super cool. So for those of you who are watching the recording, as I said, I'm going to say goodbye to you for that. If you are interested in working one-on-one with a coach to be able to create and deliver your online course, I can certainly help you with that. So simply book a call. And for those that are live, I'm now going to go behind the scenes and actually show them the software of the course builder, and can show them Trello as well and how that actually works. Chantel from Online Business Marketing.